Most players think pressure reveals who they are. It doesn't. Pressure reveals what they've trained. And that's exactly why some players look incredible during training, dominate small-sided games, feel unstoppable during casual matches, then completely disappear when the match actually matters. A cup final, a trial, a rivalry game, a promotion match, a World Cup knockout game with the whole country watching. This is a conversation that follows the USMNT constantly. Individually, the players look composed in league football every week for their clubs. Then a major tournament arrives, the stakes rise, and something changes. The team that looked fluid in friendlies suddenly looks tight, rushed, and disconnected. And the easy explanation people reach for is they're not mentally tough enough. That explanation is almost always wrong, and understanding why changes how you look at pressure completely. Suddenly their touch gets heavier. Their decisions get slower. Their confidence vanishes. The player who looked elite on Thursday looks average on Saturday. And if you've ever walked off the pitch thinking, "Why can't I play like I know I can?" This video is for you. Because the reason your best football disappears isn't what most people think. It's not confidence. It's not mentality. And it's definitely not because you're not good enough. There's a deeper reason. And once you understand it, big matches start feeling very different. Let's get into it. Most players believe pressure creates mistakes. But pressure doesn't create mistakes. Pressure exposes weak links. Think about it. If your first touch is slightly inconsistent, pressure exposes it. If your scanning habits aren't automatic, pressure exposes it. If your decision-making depends on having extra time, pressure exposes it. Pressure is like turning up the speed of the game. Everything gets tested harder. The problem is that players interpret this completely wrong. They make one bad pass, then another. Their confidence drops. Now they're thinking about mistakes instead of playing. And they conclude, "I can't handle pressure." But pressure wasn't the problem. The problem existed before the match started. The pressure simply removed the room you normally have to hide it. That's why some players seem fearless in huge matches. It's not because they're mentally stronger. It's because their game survives pressure better. And that's a huge difference. Because when we look at players who consistently perform in big moments, something interesting happens. They're not usually doing more. They're doing less. They simplify. They trust habits. They stop chasing perfection. And that brings us to the hidden cause. The real reason your best football disappears in important matches is because you're trying to perform instead of trying to play. That sounds small, but it changes everything. Before a normal match, you want to play well. Before a huge match, you want to prove something. You want coaches to notice. You want teammates to respect you. You want family to be proud. You want the scouts to remember you. You want validation. And suddenly football becomes a test. Every touch feels important. Every mistake feels dangerous. Every decision feels bigger than it really is. Your attention shifts away from the game and onto yourself. Now you're monitoring every action. Thinking before receiving. Thinking before passing. Thinking after mistakes. Thinking during moments that should be automatic. And football punishes hesitation. The game moves too fast. The players who perform best under pressure aren't necessarily calmer. They're simply less focused on themselves. They're focused on solving football problems. Where's the space? Where's the pressure? Where's the next pass? Where's the danger? Their attention stays external. Yours becomes internal. And that's when your level drops. So how do you fix it? Let's break it down. Lesson 1. Stop treating big matches differently. This sounds obvious, but almost nobody does it. The week before an important game, players suddenly change everything. Extra sessions, extra shooting, extra running, extra stress, extra expectations. They spend all week telling themselves this match is special. Then they're shocked when it feels special. Think about the message you're sending your brain. You're basically saying, "This game is bigger than normal." So your brain responds, "Then we'd better be more nervous than normal." The best performers don't ignore importance. They normalize it. They keep routines consistent. They prepare the same way. They warm up the same way. They recover the same way. Because consistency creates familiarity. And familiarity reduces panic. When the environment becomes chaotic, routines create stability. Lesson 2. Understanding where confidence actually comes from. Most players think confidence comes before performance. In reality, confidence usually follows evidence. Imagine two players before a final. One player spends the week trying to feel confident. The other spends the week executing quality habits. Scanning, receiving, passing, moving, competing. Guess which player feels better on match day? Confidence grows when your brain sees proof, not when you force positive thoughts. This is why focusing on confidence itself often backfires. You're trying to create an outcome instead of controlling actions. Instead, focus on behaviors. Did you prepare properly? Did you train with intensity? Did you execute your routines? Good. Now you have evidence. And evidence creates trust. Lesson 3. Shrink the match. A lot of players mentally turn one game into something enormous. This match will define me. This is my chance. I have to play well. That's too much weight for one football match. Nobody performs well carrying that burden. This is arguably the single biggest trap in American soccer culture specifically. Every major tournament gets framed publicly as a referendum on the sport itself. This is the game that proves soccer has arrived in America. That's an enormous, unfair weight to hand a group of players who just need to win individual duels and complete individual passes. The country's excitement isn't the problem. Turning that excitement into personal pressure on the pitches. Elite performers do something different. They reduce the game to tiny tasks. Win this duel. Complete this pass. Check this shoulder. Track this runner. Attack this space. Instead of playing the whole match in their head, they play the next action. And that's powerful because pressure lives in the future. Execution lives in the present. The more focused you are on the next football action, the less room pressure has to grow. Think about a midfielder receiving under pressure. The player who's worried about impressing scouts is already mentally 10 minutes ahead. The player focused on scanning and finding space is fully engaged in the moment. Same game. Different attention. Different result. Lesson 4. Learning how to recover from mistakes. Because here's the reality. You will make mistakes in big matches. Everyone does. Even top professionals. The difference is what happens next. Most young players treat mistakes like evidence. One bad touch means, I'm struggling. One misplaced pass means, today's not my day. One lost duel means, I'm playing badly. Now confidence drops further, and the mistake multiplies. Top performers see mistakes differently. They treat them as events, not identities. A bad touch is a bad touch. That's it. No story attached. No emotional spiral. No self-diagnosis. Just move on. One of the most valuable football skills isn't avoiding mistakes. It's recovering quickly from them. Because football gives you constant opportunities to reset. Every new action is a fresh chance to influence the game. But many players stay mentally trapped in moments that already happened. Meanwhile, the match keeps moving. Lesson 5. Your biggest matches should not be your highest pressure environments. Your training should. Think about it. If every training session feels comfortable, relaxed, and consequence-free, then match day becomes the first time you're exposed to real pressure. That's a terrible system. The goal isn't to rise during big matches. The goal is to make big matches feel familiar. Create challenges in training. Compete aggressively. Track scores. Set standards. Add accountability. Train decision-making under fatigue. Train receiving under pressure. Train while uncomfortable. Because adaptation only happens when demands increase. When training becomes demanding, matches stop feeling shocking. And that's where real confidence starts appearing. Not because you're fearless, but because you've been there before. Now let's bring all of this together. Imagine two players entering a cup final. Both have similar ability. Both trained hard. Both want to win. Player A spends the entire week thinking about the result. Thinking about expectations. Thinking about what people will say. Thinking about mistakes. Thinking about pressure. Player B focuses on preparation. Maintains routines. Trusts habits. Concentrates on actions. Accepts mistakes. Competes one moment at a time. Who do you think performs closer to their real level? Most of the time, it's player B. Not because he's more talented. Not because he's more confident. Because he's less distracted. That's the hidden truth. Big matches don't usually demand better football. They demand clearer attention. Your ability doesn't disappear. Your attention does. And when attention disappears, performance follows. And this is the real lesson for American soccer heading into moments on the biggest stage the sport has ever had in this country. The talent is already there. What decides the outcome is whether the players on the pitch are playing football or playing a symbol. So the next time a huge match approaches, remember this. You do not need to become a different player. You do not need a magical confidence boost. You do not need to play the game of your life. You need to trust the player you've already built. Trust your preparation. Trust your habits. Trust your training. Focus on football problems instead of personal pressure. Because the players who thrive in big moments aren't special. They've simply learned something most players never do. Pressure gets louder, but the game stays the same. The pitch is still the same size. The ball is still the same ball. The decisions are still football decisions. And when you stop treating the match like a life-changing event, you finally give yourself a chance to play freely. The goal isn't to become someone new when the moment arrives. The goal is to remain yourself when everyone else changes. If you can do that, your best football won't disappear when it matters. That's exactly when it will show up. And if you found this useful, subscribe to the channel. Because the difference between average players and dangerous players is rarely talent. It's understanding the hidden things that control performance. And that's exactly what we're here to learn.